hopelessly fighting crime in California. I will say that the police officers, shout out to the police officers. We like all police officers all across the United States of America. I will say that the police officers in California is trying to do their part. Shout out to the police officers. We love y'all. But y'all hands is tied, especially when it comes to your legislative branches not on the front lines, letting the criminals out and also making it easier for them to be able to do what they do. But they hopelessly, and when I say hopelessly, I mean hopelessly fighting crime in Los Angeles. Let's get into it. Y'all gonna get a reprieve today, Chicago. It's not your turn. It's Los Angeles' turn. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And if you guys are not a part of the Patreon, the best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Let's get to it.
Meantime, detectives in North Hollywood say a year-long investigation has led to the prosecution of a team of restaurant burglars suspected in more than 130 break-ins. Most of them small businesses where broken windows, damaged equipment, and stolen cash had a big impact on the owners. Investigative reporter Eric Leonard has an update on the case.
We track crime data all the time, and burglaries have been a sore spot at the LAPD over the last couple of years. Detectives say they believe this group was so prolific they may have single-handedly swung the statistics on commercial burglaries in the last year. 2 adults and 1 teenager are now in custody.
Burglary detectives say the thieves seen here shattering the glass door at a sushi restaurant in North Hollywood last year became known as the Punch Crew for using a glass-breaking tool to smash their way into about 90 restaurants in the San Fernando Valley alone.
They used a tool called a punch, and they were using that tool to go through the glass windows or the glass doors to be able to gain access into the businesses.
Lieutenant Ryan Lee is in charge of detectives at the LAPD's North Hollywood station, where his team of burglary investigators saw early last year that dozens of these break-ins across the valley were likely committed by the same group of thieves. He says security videos like these were helpful in connecting the cases, but not in identifying the burglars.
They were wearing masks, they were wearing hoodies. They had rental cars, so we know that by the MO that they were the same crew based on some of the clothing that they were wearing. However, being able to track them and find them became very difficult.
He says they caught a break when the group was arrested for an unrelated robbery. 2 adults have been charged with 19 commercial burglaries, 25-year-old Kawan Stevenson and 19-year-old Jacob Pugh.
Oh, fit the description. Again, listen, they did it 130 times. They didn't just go for it. They went all the way for it. They did it 130 plus break-ins, 90 different restaurants, and they said, this is a career. This is a career. Listen, it wasn't just one time we needed to fix things, we needed to get the rent together or anything like that. They said, this is a career. We are going for career status, 130 restaurants. Let me ask y'all a question. What do you think that the sentence is going to be for the people that got arrested as a result of this? What do you think that the sentence is going to be for the people that are getting arrested as a result of this?
These photos were shared because investigators say they suspect the 2 are responsible for even more unreported burglaries and robberies. Both are being held on nearly $1 million bail. The detectives say the impact on small business owners has been huge, both in the loss of cash and equipment and in the damage to their restaurants.
It creates significant losses for these small independent mom and pop restaurants who are cash-based. You know, insurance doesn't cover the break-in or their losses, and it puts a financial strain on them.
So what's the point of having insurance if it don't cover the break-in? What's the point of having insurance? What do you get insurance for if you can't cover nothing?
Police estimate the 3 stole about $80,000 in cash and merchandise, but did twice that, $160,000 in damage. The 2 adults charged have pleaded not guilty. The teenager is awaiting charges in juvenile court.
And he's going to be a career criminal. But that's not all that's going on in California. Let me keep y'all up to date, because when I say that they're having trouble fighting crime and it's basically hopeless over there in California, I mean it.
Well, the old Wild West comes alive again as thieves move in on the trains in the Inland Empire. San Bernardino County deputies busted a group of thieves last night.
Yeah, the suspects are also accused of stealing vehicles to use as getaway cars. KCAL News reporter Michelle Geely with details on the investigation.
Victorville commuter Elias Vasquez bumped into a swarm of law enforcement officers as he made the long drive home Tuesday evening through the Cajon Pass.
Usually, you see like a few cops every once in a while, but when you count at least 8, you definitely know something's going on.
Vasquez says what he didn't know at the time was that officers had busted an auto theft ring in the West Cajon Valley. Looters, who the authorities say used stolen cars to burglarize Burlington Northern Santa Fe freight trains. A San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department spokesperson says the unnamed suspects forcibly stopped the trains just before 5 p.m. to steal merchandise. Officers say the thieves boarded a BNSF train, immobilizing it. According to authorities, they cut open locked shipping containers and tried to load cargo into the stolen vehicles.
Is this the Fast and Anton doing this once a week? No, I've been doing it once a day. The reason why I mute myself is because I'm using a new wave and a new software to do whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm so sorry, but this reminds me of the Fast and Furious. Them breaking into a train is reminding me the same thing that they used to do in the Fast and Furious movies. Dominic Toretto is the greatest driver of all time. Tyrese is the number 5 driver, and he's a comedian. Ludacris is out here doing what he's doing on a regular basis. He's the number 1 hacker in the world. They great. I mean, listen, I was done with the Fast and Furious franchise when the Fast and Furious was able to get a fingerprint on a woman's butt based off of trying to get into a safe over there in the Dominican Republic. I said, over in Brazil, I said, what in the heck is going on? What in the heck is going on? Anton, please come to Dalton and run for mayor. Maybe I will. Nah, I love Detroit too much. I love my city too much.
Crazy.
Forrest Billington is a retired San Bernardino sheriff's lieutenant from the high desert who'd heard about the most recent train incident. These were images along the rails in downtown LA back in 2022. KCAL News broke the story of rampant thefts from cargo trains. Thousands of discarded cardboard boxes littered the tracks. A task force was formed, and in the end, nearly 24 organized criminals were arrested, accused of stealing millions of dollars worth of cargo. Last week, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies arrested 4 men in Needles for allegedly breaking into several train cars. When Elias Vasquez drove through the pass Tuesday, he wondered why the train wasn't moving.
It was just stopped, it wasn't moving at all, and I've never seen a train stop there at that portion because I've always seen trains go, traveling through that specific part, but this one was actually at a complete dead stop. So I didn't think nothing of it at the time.
Due to the ongoing investigation, deputies say they will not reveal how many people were arrested during Tuesday's train burglary.
They didn't already sack the whole town for millions of dollars and stealing everything already. It don't even matter at this point. What difference do it make? They didn't already did what they wanted to do and they didn't ran California bankrupt. But some stores are fighting back. They know, listen, before they break into 130 restaurants and stores, what we gonna start doing is we gonna start putting these hood rats on these billboards and putting exactly how much worth of content and worth of stuff that they stealing, and we gonna start shoplifting. We got some some Instagram things, Crimes in the D or something like that. It's a bunch of different Instagram stuff that I used to follow before I unfollowed everything and I only follow the content creators that's on my platform. But there's some Instagram profiles where basically stores can submit who the thieves are in Metro Detroit. If you are out here stealing, if you steal from Walmart, they gonna pull your image off of the surveillance cameras, put a still image on there, and then they're gonna submit it to Instagram or submit it to whoever it is on his profile for Instagram in order to highlight it and say, hey, this person stole some electronics, but they ran them up and they rung them up as bananas. That's what they doing nowadays. This is what they decided to do over in California.
Fed up and frustrated, that's the right description. The owner of Kitson is tired of being targeted by shoplifters, so they came up with the wall of shame.
She stole $500 from our main store.
Yep, she fit the description. Why we got to do so much crime? Can I bring our culture to the front of the congregation? And I know it's not just black people, but good God, we only 13.6% of the population. Why are we always at the forefront of the shootings, the stealing, the crime? And I know that I done seen some white people come in and act like they was pregnant and steal a whole bunch of liquor out of Myers. I ain't even gonna cap. It was crazy when I caught them. It was crazy when I caught them. I seen so many people doing so many different things. And yes, I know that all cultures steal. But what I'm talking about is how can you be 13.6% of the population, but committing the most murders, the most violent crimes, doing all of the stuff that's happening in Chicago and all of these liberal cities? How does this happen? How do we get a woman that looks so innocent, probably on the internet talking about what she wants in a man, but she out here stealing $500 from a small business called Kitson over in California? When y'all go into these stores, do y'all actually look to pay? Do you have the money in your wallet, or are you looking to actually just steal? Is your entire dedication stealing? Honestly. Is everything just about stealing? Just can't keep your hands to yourself. Everything is about crime. Everything is about theft. Everything is about stealing. It just don't make no sense.
Robertson stole $1,000 worth of our merchandise.
Shoplifters.
Look at him. Look at him on there. You know what that woman looked like in the middle? That looked like the Sprinkle lady. The woman in the middle, Anisha Takade, they got her whole name on there. Hey, look, if you look at the bottom, because they had put it obviously on, she contacted the store. I guess she probably contacted them on Facebook or Instagram. She says, I am not a fugitive in Seattle or Washington. I have resolved those issues. And then she says, sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle. She looked just, I'm not saying that that's her. But we're not saying that that's her. I'm saying that it looks like a close relative to her. Man, I have since resolved those issues. Keep your hands to yourself. We need to bring shaming back.
Where if you steal from Kitson stores, your photo, described as the new mugshot, will be displayed on the window for a little public shaming.
We feel as a small business, we have to take matters into our own hands. We're not being supported really by the mayor. We're not being supported by the district attorney.
Kitson stylist Lisa Goodman says shoplifting losses at their 4 locations are in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Sometimes they come in and they just grab tables worth of stuff and take it to their car. And sometimes they just shove it in their pocket. They'll wear it out. Various.
Y'all do know that when y'all steal from a lot of these places, not just the big box stores, because when you steal from the big box stores, eventually they close up shop and they remove all of the jobs and all of the commerce and everything continues to go down like it's going on in the Bay Area. But when y'all steal from a lot of these places, you're stealing from small business owners. You're stealing from people that put their all into opening up a business. They invested, they had a dream, they funded it, they may have gotten a loan, they family and friends helped them open up the doors. They're the first ones that was working behind the counter, wasn't getting paid, wasn't taking a salary. They still got to pay the rent. They decorated it. They got a vision. And the last thing that they was considering, the last thing that they was focused on, the last thing that they thought was going to happen to them or was at the forefront of their mind is a theft. That was the last thing that was on their mind, was somebody coming in, grabbing all of the clothes that they invested in, that they need in order to pay their rent and pay their employees. The last thing that you think about when you got this dream and you putting your own money into it and you trying to open up something is somebody coming in and stealing. Real talk. I was so heartbroken when I first seen they was running turkey legs out of the back of my first restaurant. When I put all of my hard work into that restaurant and then I looked at the monitor and I was watching it in real time, I said, wait a minute, the delivery driver is delivering chicken wings and turkey legs. We got to make sure that we get this popping. And I was trying to figure out, okay, wait a minute. They not stealing this way. They're not stealing that way. So I just kept the monitor up all day. When a delivery man came in, 3 boxes went in. 2 went into the refrigerator, and 1 went right out the back door into the car. They said, we ain't even going to ring it up. We just going to get us some turkey legs. Are you cooking them at home, sir, or are you selling them separately? What is going on? Why y'all selling chicken wings and turkey legs by the box, by the case? Numbers was never adding up. I said, we selling all of this stuff, but we always out of inventory all the time. That's not your money. That's not your stuff. Jesus Christ.
And not only hangs photos of shoplifters on the windows, they also post videos on social media of people shoplifting at their stores. And without fail, someone online ends up identifying the shoplifters.
We're publicly shaming them, and we're doing what we need to do to protect our business.
In some of the cases, after the shoplifters have been shamed, they actually come back to the store to return the merchandise they stole. So far, public reaction to these new mugshots has been positive.
Well, I think it's good.
Bring back shaming.
Maybe it'll help. Yeah, people should know who it is, and, for the other vendors also.
So I feel like the businesses are struggling, and I feel like we all can be accountable.
It affects us from top to bottom, from petty theft, organized.
Sir, I'm going to need you to put an undershirt on and stop having your nipples show through that see-through sweater you got on. Put an undershirt. Listen, fellas, I don't care what, unless you're going to the beach. Get you a wife beater, get you an undershirt, put it on. This right here, joint. Put one of these on. You can get them in all colors. You can get them in black, white. You can literally get them to match whatever outfit you got. Get you a wife beater, get you an undershirt. Don't have your nipples sticking out. That is unruly. Stop having y'all nipples sticking out through these see-through shirts, man. Y'all know y'all about to be on the news. You just put a sweater on. That's it? You just threw a sweater on over your taco meat?
Staffed.
Devin Fowler works at To Be Continued, a consignment shop near Kitson on Robertson in Beverly Hills.
We love that Kitson actually brings attention to this. Some
got
of
all
the
that pink in there.
People who live in the community that do opportunity theft, they think no one's looking. Those numbers add up quickly.
Fowler and Goodman believe thieves are bold and fearless.
Look at this, old people, white people.
$950 are classified as misdemeanors.
Ooh.
And they won't do any jail
And she
time.
looked at the camera. Y'all want that little cheap stuff so bad, don't y'all?
I would encourage other businesses to take a similar approach to what Kitson is doing, because it's the only way that you're going to protect your assets, protect your store, and let people know that they can't come in and just steal your merchandise.
I agree. You got to do something. Anything's by any means necessary. We have to protect our stuff. And what's happening over in California, because it's literally becoming hopeless out here in these streets.